Together there, guys. Welcome back to StewieMTG. Doing a little live video as long as I've got internet. A little storm kind of headed our way, and I have had a nasty respiratory infection. So you can hear the laundry in the back room like normal. And going to be going over a couple of things. Number one, you guys are going to sit here with me and quickly look at a couple of packages that are going to be going out on Monday. First up is a package for our very own Zomboy MTG Ghoul Dude. I'll wait for him to open this up on his channel and see what goodies are in there. That's going out hopefully on Monday, weather permitting, obviously. And the next one up, you see the little labels on here, is actually for Ryan Canada over at Canada's Collectible Games, also known as Cure for the Common Game, over here on YouTube. Helping to stock him up on Commander Essentials for building as many decks as he does. These are also going out on Monday. And then you guys are going to have to excuse me. That's going to happen the whole live stream. And then I have these three trade containers that are heading out to a couple of different places for some... Oh, you guys are really going to have to excuse me on that. These are going out to a couple of different companies for some trade-in to get some stuff to fill out some decks. And since we're on a live stream, and since nobody's currently on, hopefully you guys have. I got myself some water over here and my coffee. Well, let's take a quick look up at what we got going over here on the build desk, so to speak. Is this actually casting sideways? That's weird. Oh, it's not saying it wants to do sideways. Let me fix it. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. It's unfortunate. It doesn't want to do landscape. All right. Anyways, a little adjusting here so you guys can see. Starting over here on my right is the Pirates deck that I just opened up recently. Still need some cards for that to finish that up. I've got a food deck in progress. Also right behind that is Fellowship of the Rings deck. Immediately behind that is we got Tom Bombadil. We've got ourselves Neheb Minotaurs. And then a Manticore deck in very, very slight beginnings. Over here, I've got a Rhino deck. Trax is over there in the right corner, and for some reason it doesn't want to focus. And Thalia Lands is in the far back. Let's take a look at what we're going to be sleeving up tonight. So in the far left corner, we've got Kalia Zenith Seeker. It's going to get sleeved up tonight. Next to it is Tiana Ship's Caretaker. Next to it is Fairies. All right, next to that we have a Rigo Streetwise Mentor Citizens deck. We've got a Captain Neganthrod, a Horrors deck. That's in progress there as well. Over here, I'm really debating about whether I'm going to finish Calamax or whether I was going to part it out. Maybe put a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Right next to that is Earl the Miststalker. We got ourselves some Naya enchantment auras. Next to that is Eloise, Nephilius Sleuth, Clues. Next to that is... Ooh, you know, that is a great question. What is next to that? Oh, we've got ourselves Wolves and Werewolves. Two separate decks that have been in various stages of putting together for a while. Right next to that is Rafik the Many Bant Exalted. And then we have Ishin, Two Heavens is one. Red, white, black, exalted. Relic Mons is a Grohl goblin deck that may never get put together. I may end up dismantling that. Brutaclad is a placeholder for Urtet, for Mir. I really need to get an Urtet, and it's basically done. Next up is Styx, Tribal Phoenix. Thanos the War Reaver is basically done as well. I just need to look through it and see what I need. Tribal Spiders. Over here we have Faraday. We've got ourselves, that is the dice rolling deck. There's still a few cards I need for that. Next up is Okun and Fibblethip. Instead of dice rolling, we got coin flips. Next to that, we have better. Bladewing is right there right now, just as a placeholder for Skeleton Tribal. And Grun, we've got an Ape Tribal. That's what's sitting on my desk. I wish that it was in a bit more completedness, but hey, it is what it is. So hopefully you guys can chill with me. I'm going to move the camera in a second to a little bit better angle for me to just sit, and you can watch me sleeve up some cards and we can talk about them as we go. Hopefully you guys are having a good beginning of your year. We just got hit with our first real quote-unquote like storm for the year, and so yeah, it makes it very interesting. But I'm gonna move the camera here a little bit. Sorry for all the mess. And cool. Let's get me a handy dandy card holder, and we'll start looking at some decks. For the first deck up, we have ourselves a package of Dragon Shield Perfect Fits and Dragon Shield Black Mats. First deck up today, Zenith Seeker. 3. When she enters the battlefield, you could look at the top 6 cards. I can reveal an angel, a demon, and or a dragon, and put them into one of them in my hand, the rest on the bottom of my library. So, but this is going to be Tribal Angels. Maybe you guys can come with me for a moment as I make sure that I don't have duplicates, and I may end up changing out some lands, because I have recently had a restock on lands. I'm gonna move the camera once again. Sorry guys, this is live. We can do stuff like this. All right, so first up, a recent addition was Akroma's Will. I just pulled this from Ixalan Commander deck. Got ourselves. Let me put the lands on the side. I'm gonna edit that last, because I know that we have ourselves Renewed Faith. Some of these cards are just more for theme. Unbreakable Formation. We have Rampage of the Valkyries, Verge's Retribution, Sigarda's Splendor, Angelic Renewal by my favorite Rebecca Guy, a nice Friday Night Magic Resurrection, Diabolic Tutor, Search for Glory, Read the Bones, Damnable Pact, Sign and Blood. We've got ourselves a Chronoma's Vengeance and a Mythos of Snapdax for some board wipes, as well as a Day of Judgment. We've got a Hero's Downfall, Poison the Cup, Doomblade, Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares for our removal, and now with some of the Angels. It wouldn't be StewieMTG without Angels, right? We've got Sogovian Angel, Sarah Avenger, Angelic Page, These were hard to get a hold of. Last couple places I've looked for Starnheim aspirants, number one for an uncommon, they want like $4 or $5. And in the 3 or 4 boxes of Kaldheim that I opened, I only ended up getting like 2 or 3. We've got Seraph of New Capenna, Righteous Valkyrie, Inspiring Overseer, Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, Glorious Protector, Thraben Watcher, Archangel of Wrath, Vengeful Reaper, the original Kalia the Vast, Phrygia, Judge of Valor, Lisa, Forgotten Archangel, Archangel Avacyn, Karmic Guide, Herald of War, Angel of Suffering, Cleaving Reaper. We have our Radiant Archangel that was previously the commander of my Mono White Angels, but Gyada is just way too good to not switch that out. Angel of Despair, Angelic Skirmisher, Tariel, Reckoner of Souls, Aurelia the War Leader, Rhea Dawnbringer, Achroma Angel of Wrath, Achroma Angel of Fury, and we have ourselves here some mana ramp and cost reducers in the form of, get in there, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Charcoal Diamond, Fire Diamond, Orzhov Signet, Mardu Banner, Commander Sphere, and some reducers in Herald's Horn, Urza's Incubator, and one equipment when Moonsliver Spear. So let's zoom back here for a moment and take a look at mana base. I know I'd gotten some more multi-lands that are tribal dependent. So we have our the ones that can make all 3 of our colors: Command Tower, Path of Fancy, Nomad Outpost. I'm going to look at my binder here in a moment. We have ourselves Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse. We have a Seraph Sanctuary just for the flavor. And let me see, got some mountains, or swamps. Got some mountains, got some plains. Some of our non-basic lands, we got Caves of Koilos, Temple of Silence, Tainted Field. Cycling lands, we got Forgotten Cave. We have a Smoldering Marsh, Temple of Triumph, a Rugged Prairie, another cycling land, Secluded Steppe, Drifting Meadow, Desert of the True, Mortuary Mire. I might take that out for something else. Let's put that bugger up there. We have a Polluted Mire from Urza's. That's nice, cycling on, and a Barren Moor. So let's grab my binder and let's take a peek, shall we? So, what I have here is my lands binder. And you're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately, live in the angle that they want you to do it. But let's take a peek over here off camera. Because I got plenty of basic land, so I'm not worried about inserting way too many non-basics. We have a Path of Ancestry. Yeah. I do have a Unclaimed Territory. That's what I was thinking of, that I was looking at. Take a look here. Let's go ahead and stick it, the Vault of the Archangel that I have here in just for theme. Sometimes I'll never use it, but hey, it would at least be there. And a isolated chapel as well. So I'll take out some basic lands for that. 1, 2, 3. And Unclaimed territory. Let's take a look and see if there's anything else new in the binder since the last time I was in here. You know what? I can actually sell this Fury Karm Snarl. To be honest, I don't like the Snarls. I play Commander. It just really doesn't. I haven't found a deck that it goes into or that it fits. And yep, those are going to be the. Well, let me take a look at my extra stack of lands over here. Make sure I'm not missing something. Yep, and I already see something off the bat. So I'm seeing a myriad landscape. I need all the ramp you can get in Angel decks. That's for doggone sure. But I did not see. I mean, obviously, any of the other lands that produce more than all of your commander's colors would be great here, especially the cave that makes mana for your commander's color identity. With that, let me double count these lands, make sure I got enough, because I have a bad habit of trying to go too low. $40, perfect. I try and aim for 40 in most of my decks. For a little while there, I was skimming down and getting down to about 36. And then my decks were having some major color fixing problems. So that moratorium also has got to go back. All right. You guys got to stick around and watch me sleeve this up? Maybe. We shall see. I also put the commander in this nice angel sleeve. That's also a flesh and blood sleeve. That's not a magic sleeve. It's available through Dragon Shield. So first step, I'll put that here, get these cards, and can stick around with me and hear me hack a lung or two while I sleeve these up. So what decks are you guys working on? I have been working on these two that we're going to sleeve up tonight. Oh, way too long. They've probably been sitting up here on the... Wow, it's hard to sleeve those looking through a camera. I've been working on those for probably a year in various forms, mainly waiting for the Starnheim aspirants to get in. Both of those decks were basically ready to go if it weren't for the aspirants. So this is how I do it. I get the box up here. I got the sleeves, cards and sleeves down here, and I just kind of go through. Since majority of my decks I double sleeve unless it's like a really cheap deck that I'm throwing together for like a friend, or I'll double sleeve most of my decks, but I'll just sit here. Normally I'll have like Commander's Quarters, Cure for the Common Game, EDH Rec on in the background on my phone while I'm just sitting here. And that is a lot trickier than it looks looking through a phone. So, can you guys believe another set is already here? The Karlov Manor set. I mean, I just edited my vampire deck, and it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to edit it again. We just got another commander deck, and it's just ridiculous. Since this has an older sleeve on it, I'm gonna switch it out. That way they're all copacetic and singular. Which decks on the table up here would you guys like to see me finish up and do a deck tech on? So many of them are nearly done. Rigo's basically done. Nightmare is basically done because I'll be tearing apart my other discard deck and redoing it as Nightmares. Calamex is done. Earl's done. All the others need in various stages. So in the way it works in my rack is if the closer it is to me, the more work it needs to complete. So the farthest ones away, the back row, are the ones that need maybe a handful of cards, or could have a couple of cards just thrown in as placeholders and the decks be finished. I know Brian over Canada over at Cure for the Common Game does that. I'm not in a big hurry. I've already got, and this will make, 72 decks when I get done tonight. I'm not in a big hurry to finish decks. After these that are in up here, if I make any more decks, I'm gonna disassemble something else and kind of make it a placeholder. That's why I don't really need the Relic Mon stack. I don't really need the assassin deck that's over here, and there's got it's Death Touch Tribal, Death Touch / Assassins. I didn't really need to build Thalia lands, but since I really enjoy the arena version of the deck, I just decided to go ahead and build it in paper. That was somewhat true. What's the other deck? I built the Pirates deck on Arena, and it has been doing okay. I ended up having to add more removal to the Arena version of the deck because it just wasn't hanging. Especially you come up against a Bombadil deck, or I was finding especially enchantments and artifacts were very difficult for the deck to deal with, and flying creatures. And then I ended up switching out as many of the shifting in as many of the flying pirates as I could that were available on Arena. That's the thing. Pirates is a new theme in Magic, and so we can only go back, it seems, a few years and have support for pirates. So there's not nearly as much to edit or to look for. I think that is a theme that they can continue to work on a little bit and improve. But it is fun. My wife plays a video game on the Switch, and she's actually up there right now. She has put in a part on her island that's pirate themed, and in the house that's mine on this game, I've got a room that is a pirate theme. I'm not a big pirate guy. As you guys know, it's StewieMTG. You know, we do angels here. Hence the deck I'm sleeving up. But I saw that it was basically the freebie when I bought all of the Ixalan and Commander decks. So I figured, heck, I've got the cards. It's fun. It would be fun for a night in which There's another local pastor who also plays Magic, and his brother, and my daughter also plays it. Pirates would just be fun. Now the big question is, it's going to be quote unquote competitive enough, or see, you see how the cards are curling once I get them in the sleeves? I have noticed that the last couple of sets of the Dragon Shield Perfect Fits are just a scooch too small. Now, they end up being okay once you double sleeve them and squeeze out the air, but it scares you at first when you're looking down. And it's not, yes, some of those are curved because they're foils, especially the From the Vaults, and those types are always notorious for curling. But yeah. So this is what Stewie does when he's not doing my normal job or taking care of the family. And so, like I said, I'm doing laundry tonight, like I do, and trying not to hack along. Got a nasty respiratory infection. Oh, it's coming up on 2 weeks ago, and I finally decided to go to the doctor, and ended up getting steroids and antibiotics and Tesla pearls. And the one side effect of the steroids is it's been keeping me up all night. And I was already up all night anyways because of the coughing, but in the last few nights it has been literally just 24/7. It has been thankfully I took this week off from work. I was able to have somebody cover services on Sunday, and you know what, it's probably, maybe my body was telling me it was a good week to take a week. So, do you guys see anything I should change in this deck? In a minute, we're going to look at Tiana. I know Tiana needs a lot more changes than we just did now to call ya. I should have given this a count. We might end up being over. And Righteous Valkyrie. Oh, man. You want to talk about a card that ends up playing better. Whenever Angel or Cleric battlefield, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Angels are normally 3, 4, 5 toughness. And as long as you have 7 or more life than your starting life total, +2/+2 across the board, I can make some very beefy angels. Call Time gave us some really good angels. I was very glad. Seraph of Nuka-Penna is a placeholder for what? I don't know. Maybe another angel that comes out in the future. Angelic Page is also kind of a placeholder for a low-cost angel if they ever come out with something like Sarah Avenger again. Oh man, when Sarah Avenger came out, my jaw hit the floor. And I was also glad they came out with Segovian Angel. It's like they've needed lower cost angels. We've got plenty of high cost angels. That is not a stinking problem. They've got those out the stinking wazoo. But the lower cost angels have always been the sticking point. It's either that or you're running tons of ramp, or you're having to run things like Urza's Incubator and Vanquisher's Banner and Herald's Horn to help with the card draw, to help with making those cost a lot less, and it makes it really interesting. This is going to be really close unless I counted just right. And by the way, the Strixhaven alternative art borders were awesome. I know another Magic player who the only reason he buys Strixhaven when he finds it is just so he can pull those alternate borders. I don't know how well this deck is going to do, but it's definitely nice to have a variety of angel decks to play with. As you guys know, I've got my 5-color angel, I've got my mono white angel. Now this will make a 3-color angel and a 2-color angel. So this is going to be red, white, black. And it's really unfortunate. This thing's a Pringle chip, but that is an excellent resurrection. I also like I do have some of the original art resurrections as well. But if I was going to add that to a deck, that would probably be my mono white angel stack. Angelic Renewal, fun card. Cigar to Splendor. If you guys have stayed with me for the half hour that has been so far, good on you guys. Maybe you guys are as bored as I can sometimes be. But let us... And, you know, I don't know. I don't know about Renewed Faith. I mean, yes, I mainly cycle it to draw the card and gain 2 life. What the heck, I'll stick it in there. Alright. Stick this. The ones we have left over. I like the fact lately Dragon Shield has been giving you extras, which is a big bonus. I like to sleeve up cards that I'm selling in that to send to friends, and that, especially if they're nice, or to... And it's nice to have, you know, 3, sometimes 5 extra sleeves in a box. Let's see how these black sleeves do. A lot of the times, I don't know. I just cracked this open. I'm not really seeing, because normally there's a whole bunch of like cardboard dust on the top. Yeah, there is a little bit. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but maybe once I pull these out, you can see what I'm talking about. It used to be there. They used to have an inner sleeve, kind of like this, around the cards, and they don't. And so I don't know if you can tell. Right down in here, there's a whole bunch of cardboard dust on the outside of the sleeves, thankfully. But when sleeving these, that means that I can, in fact. Here's the actual container they're going in. I can, in fact, push some of those particles into the sleeves. And so what I do now is I'm going to get out as much air as I can out of this stack without dropping them, which I have done before, by the way. Squish them together. Turn them to where they're opening side down. And, of course, the sleeves slide all the way over. Now, depending on the fit, if they're super tight, a lot of the times I have to really be finicky with them and really push them down. Or a lot of the times, I think the commander over at Command, or the professor has a lot easier time than I do normally with double sleeving, but it seems like he can just normally push, so I'm getting some resistance here. So what I normally do is I stick my finger up in here and pull with my thumb and push them in there. So after about 10 cards or so, I'll push some of the air out, and then I'll put them into the box that they're going to be permanently going in. But I may only just do this deck tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we can do a live stream and around the same time if you guys are actually going to be on. I want to also say big thank you to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the crazy land of StewieMTG world. Let me know what your guys' favorite content is. I know, at least looking at analytics, the deck techs are what really does it. So I've got a stack of cards down here. And so what I will do is I'll take those and I'll try and get as much of the air out of them as I can. And then stick them in the box. So once they're all sleeved up, I'm going to turn them sideways. And then that way the container will help push out some of the air. So this is what StewieMTG does probably, I don't know, once a month. When or in this case, it's been a number of months since I've actually sleeved up a deck, because I haven't had one that's actually been done. Now, yes, you guys saw the Diabolic Tutor and the Search for Glory. I very rarely run tutors unless they're, I mean, Search for Glory is a decent tutor. A lot of people say Diabolic Tutor's unplayable. But sometimes I'll run them in decks that need a little bit of help, themes, and that just aren't, like, I'll probably run a Diabolic Tutor in the Phoenix deck just to help it get going in what it needs. There's really, probably also in Eloise, Nephalia Sleuth. Just, some decks just need that little bit of extra help. And no, I'm not, I don't try and just handicap a deck and say, oh, well, it's a tribal deck. But then I stick a whole bunch of good stuff cards, just like the recent episode on EDH Trek. It's not just the bait and switch, saying, oh, yeah, this is just a tribal junk deck, and when it's actually full of a bunch of really good cards with a junk, kind of a junky tribal theme. So I'm going to push the air out of these. Now, these decks keep air in them for, it seems like, forever. See how much air is in there? Really going to need to add quite a bit of cards to really get that down, but we'll get there. So, also, probably next week, I'm going to be ordering an alternate version of the Stanley. It's not the Stanley brand, but it's another brand toolbox that has the same dimensions and basically layout as the Stanley, back with the rest of these from Menards, I believe, has them. I don't remember. I saw it on a Facebook group. Let me know if you guys use those for holding decks. I think I'm just going to need one more to be done with the decks that I have. This deck and the Tiana is taking up the last two spots in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Stanley containers I have. But once again, I've got to go through my decks and maybe disassemble some of them. I know I can probably easily have the 32 deck challenge done twice over, at least. And this one's kind of a, what she said transform into. Whenever it attacks, sacrifice another creature artifact, gets +2/+1 until end of turn. That's one of those definite looking for something better. I mean, and whenever I do these things, I know I don't eat nearly as much of the quote-unquote my vegetables as I should when doing these types of decks. Not enough card draw, not enough ramp. Because you want to get to the theme, right? So you sacrifice, and you shouldn't. You need to eat your Wheaties, but it is always tempting, even for me. Even in all these years I've been playing, it is always tempting to add that big blingy cool angel into the deck because it's big and is blingy, and this is another great card. 4 mana, Flying Death Touch Haste. Even though it's only a 2/3, give it first strike. Oh, there we go. Especially with the Audric that helps you share keywords with the rest of your team. Ooh, baby. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that in arena decks that have white. Audric has just been going in there. Right now I'm pushing out all the air in these. And then I crunch it while it's in. Can't really see because my stupid hands in the way. But we're getting there. So yeah, Audric is excellent. And I didn't put regular Kalia the Vast as the commander because she is such a target. Some time ago, I had a Kalia deck for like a hot minute, and I tore that deck apart because no one would let Kalia live for more than 2 seconds. It just seemed like they'd be willing to 3-for-1 to get her off the board. So even if she had the Swiftfoot boots or the Commander's Plate or whatever on her, it just seemed as though she just would not live. So she can be in the 99. So glad that Karmic Guide got errated, because the original printing was that Karmic Guide was a spirit, and at some point they errated it to be an angel spirit, which I'm very thankful for. And no, there's not any ridiculous loops with Karmic Guide in here. There's no combos. It's just a one-shot, return something. Well, if you guys have stayed with me this far, that's amazing. I don't know, maybe you guys are like me and it's kind of cathartic watching somebody else and hearing to them ramble while putting cardboard into plastic, into some more plastic, and into, yet again, more plastic. A little overkill, don't you think? But hey, with some hobbies, I've seen people plenty go through even more craziness than just this. In fact, I was been watching a YouTube channel on coffee. Kind of figures, right? And this guy, he spends ridiculous amounts of money on brewers and fancy equipment and measurements and water filtration systems, and it's like, mankind is very similar in the things it does. The same habits and things can carry over from one experience to another. And yes, the Pringle chips, known as from the Vault series. And mainly Achromas, these are in there just for bling. I doubt they'll ever actually get played, but hey, achievement unlocked if you can actually get them played. Now what I hate is when I'm pushing them in and then it starts coming out at the bottom of the inner sleeve. Even if I'm doing the Stewie trick, normally that will help it from coming out here at the bottom. Let's push these down and put them back with the rest. So I don't know, maybe you guys have some tips and tricks on how to prevent that, but for the longest time I used KMCs, inners and outers. But the problem I hated with KMCs is the top of the card and the top of the sleeve were the same. So it was very easy to get stuff in between the inner sleeve and outer sleeve. I like the little bit of a lip that these have. And I like the shuffle feel in that just as well. And it's way easier for me to get a hold of Dragon Shields than it is to get KMCs. And sometimes, like, that one went in beautifully. And I mean, the professor keeps kind of going back and forth on his recommendations because there'll be batches that are good, batches that are bad. I've not had a quote-unquote bad batch, but I've had many of those like this one where half of them just slide right in and half of them, it's like they're each just that, not even a millimeter, a thou off from each other, and That's really kind of annoying. I mean, with the amount of technology that we have, and when you're paying, I don't know, $11, $10, $11 for 100 sleeves, you know, I think we could expect a little bit more consistency and quality without sacrificing anything. Am I too crazy to ask that? Once again, dryer's gonna get noisy here. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's the washer. Doing the spin down. 4 people in the home, plenty of laundry to do. Let me squish these down. Now we're getting back to the land. Yay. Like I said, if I feel up to it, I might just take a Tiana tonight and see what I might need to do. And then tomorrow night you can sleeve her up. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done a live, and it wasn't... See, like this one's a little, just a smidge tight. So kind of have to help her in there. Now, the danger with doing that, though, is sometimes you won't notice it right away, but you'll get this corner on the inside bent over, where you'll actually bend the like that one went right in. No, it didn't need any help like the last one. This one needs a little bit, but not much. See, those 3 sleeves are vastly different in their ability to be double sleeved. Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting frustrated because haven't had a whole lot of sleep this week. I don't know. But, and no, I don't have enough full art sleeves to... I haven't had enough full art. The next deck that's actually going to get all full art sleeves is Atraxa, since I only have maybe 3 or 4 more full arts I need to get in order to finish that deck. The problem with that one is I actually need to get a hold of a regular old school Atraxa. And yeah, that's part of the reason I'm selling off that stack of trade-ins that you saw earlier, is to get an Atraxa, is to get a couple of cards for Thalia, and a couple of cards for like a Bitter Blossom for my fairy deck. The other decks don't need as many, and maybe depending on how much money I actually get for those trade-ins and that, maybe an Urtet would be nice as well, because that deck is basically done. It just needs, you know, tweak the mana, you know, make sure I have the Wheaties in there, ramp, acceleration card draw, those type of things, and then go from there. But Urtet, I think, would be a whole lot of fun. I like that. Here's a very low power. And see, this deck box is getting full, but we've still got a bit of cards to get in there, and I'll push out that air. I like when Magic gives support finally for some of those really niche themes or tribes. I think that they do need to print a few more things like Unclaimed Territory and not Nomad Outpost. If I had the Triome, it would be in here, but I am out of Triomes. Path of Ancestry, things like that. I would love to see a couple more. You know, if there were 5 or 6 of those, that would be great, and I don't think that it would bust mana, not just mana curse, but just I don't think it would make the land base for tribal decks overpowered. Yeah, sure. If you've got your cave, go for it. If you've got your cascading cataracts and all that kind of stuff, go for it. But for the rest of us, that have a budget and aren't doing 1 or 2 decks. See, if I only had my angel decks, let's say, sure, I would bling the snot out of them. And in some ways, I do bling the snot out of them. But I can't do that for every deck. Not when I'm building this many. Now, choices, right? Not everybody needs to be a Brian Canada and build every commander that ever exists. Not everybody needs to be StewieMTG and have eventually 80, 90, probably I'll top out at 100 decks. And, you know, who knows what the future may bring. I may have to go back and do what I did a number of years ago and sell off everything minus my angel decks. And you know what? I've done it before, and I could, you know, obviously do it again. Part of this process is just cathartic, and it's fun, and allows my friends to have a selection of decks beyond their own that they can try different strategies and ideas. And see, that sleeve did it. You see that? When I was pushing it in, see that gap at the top? So now I've got to push it in and then help guide it in. I love the fact that they reprinted some of these filter lands. Because for the longest time, oh my gosh, those filter lands were ridiculously expensive. And I have some originals from Lorwyn block. But man, you know, when it's $20 or $30, it was the same, you know, era when fetch lands were, you know, $40, $50, $60 a fetch land, and you're going, oh my gosh, seriously, people? Yeah. I did miscount. The sheet is going back in the binder. So that is Kalia Zenith Seeker, all sleeved up, all pretty, ready for the ball. Let's get these last little bit aired out. I do not know if I have this deck on Architect yet. Maybe tomorrow I'll bring my laptop down and get that done. All right, that one's pushed out. Let's see if we can make some room. Yes, at first it is kind of tight, but with all of these, it does push out the cards aren't getting hurt. Notice here, there's plenty of room. I've got tons of room. I've got more than an inch. For what I do is I'll put them in this way. If I just double sleeve them, if I triple sleeve them, I'll place them in like this. So the commander goes on the top right here so I can see. And any tokens I will include right beneath, or alternate cards. If I'm looking at including a different card with Kalia, I'll put it right underneath this as a reminder to, hey, play a few games with her, see if it works. So yeah, that fits nicely. There's plenty of give in there. So Kalia is done. Stay tuned. Probably tomorrow night or maybe even Sunday night. Tiana will get sleeved up like this, and I'll be debating about Calamex here in the next couple of days, because I have special, whether it's for Calamex or whether it is for, where did it go? I have had a wizard theme deck basically done for many, many years. I've made it and taken it apart, made it and taken it apart. And I saw these sleeves, and they're on sale, and I had to come. Anyways, we'll see. Maybe you guys will see that tomorrow night. But anyways, I've got a few cards, got some lands put away, got an angel put away. Well, this has been StewieMTG. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your 55 minutes with the barely a millennial Born in 82, so you guys figure that out. Barely a millennial. Sleeving up cards. Dryer's done. Time for me to go do my laundry. This has been StewieMTG. Please like, comment, subscribe. Big thank you to all of those subscribers who have come in recently. Big appreciation. I never expected the channel to grow like it has. I always thought it was just going to be my friends chiming in, taking a peek at what I'm working on as far as Magic, and I was been very, very surprised. This has been StewieMTG. I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll catch you all later.